What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are all doing well. Let's check out today's project. You'll never guess what it is. So today's project is to smash out the headlight and the taillights on this truck. So let's get started. I didn't know Army trucks came with backup cameras. Alright guys, that's all I had for this video. I really appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and we'll see you in the next video. I'm just joking, of course. See, what that was anger management. So that way, during the course of today's projects, if I get mad, I don't have to break anything because I already did, and I should be pretty calm and zen for the rest of the day. Alright, on a serious note, let's actually check out what we got going on. I need somebody to clean this shit up. There's a mess on aisle 5. Today is the day. It's been like 3 weeks. 3 weeks! I'm pretty disgusted in quite a few places right now, but whatever, I'll put that aside. Finally got the frickin' steel I need to stretch this frame. I got my 2 3-foot pieces of channel and the 2 gusset plates that are gonna go in there, and they're on their way here now. And man, I can't wait, because this truck, like, this thing just needs to stop sitting around and actually do something. So in the meanwhile, while we're waiting for the plates to get here, I was just pressure washing my International yesterday and I found a couple problems. I've been hauling a lot of loads with this, and I noticed that the bolts on this helper spring perch, the 2 bottom bolts are sheared off and she's a little cocked, so I definitely want to get that taken care of. So I already got the jack under it, of course. And the other problem is that this thing looks like complete shit with all this rust, because that pressure wash rusted. Yeah, the pressure washer rusted everything off. So yeah, and I got some shitty black paint that we're just gonna spray over top of it, because that's what people do nowadays. So we'll work on this for a while and then we'll get working on that. Alright, real quick, I just got to add this in. I just had like a random thought. So apparently the headlights on these Army trucks, see, the US military really knows how to build stuff. They build stuff so good that these headlights are actually like shark teeth. When one goes, another one comes in. It's like, you know, cats and the 9 lives thing and all that, you know what I mean? So I actually, it just occurred to me that the second that I smashed this light out and it fell, another one emerged. So I tell you what, man, US military, I mean, they know what they're doing. They really have their shit together. Alright, there we go. We got this worthless piece of shit out of here. And I think I'm going to do what they should have done originally. I'm going to take these little wimpy 3/8 bolts. Yes, I put 3/8 bolts in it, but that's what they had factory, was 3/8 bolts. I'm going to drill these things out to 1/2-inch bolts. I think I know what the problem is, though. So most of the trucks that you see don't have like 6 helper springs in it. They only got a couple. And the reason I got so many helper springs on the top stack rather than the bottom stack is because I really don't want this truck any higher. So I got it pretty leveled right now. Probably can't see it. I do have a jack under it, so we're pretty much pissing in the wind trying to see that. But anyway, I got this truck at the ride height. I like it, so I don't want to add any more springs to the main stack. So I've been adding them to this because I want to be able to get my 7-8 ton on without these things being basically backwards. So as it stands now, I put 8 tons on this thing, and these springs are, they're not flat, but they're, you know, they're not by any means flat, but they're smiling pretty good. Or not smiling pretty good. However, the tires are smiling, the springs are frowning. I don't know who else heard that before, but yeah, anyway, we're gonna drill these pieces of shit out to 1/2 inch. And I might actually do a couple other ones too. None of the other ones are broke, but I'm sure. Oh yeah, and I had to make this spring perch because the stock ones like that, the one was missing off of the truck when I bought it, so I had to make this one out of some steel. And of course that's the one that broke, probably because I didn't go to college. Now for the fun part of seeing how cool it is to drill through a hardened steel frame. Oh, not bad. Maybe it pays off to buy a $30 drill bit. Sounds like we're hitting some hard steel now. I think we went through. All right, take two. Apparently I wasn't recording the first time. Anyway, so I was only able to get through 1/2 inch hole because it's pretty much impossible to drill through these truck frames without a mag drill, and these 3 holes just weren't having it. I had to get through that one after I sharpened a bit like 18 times, so finally, but at least it's back together and all 4 bolts are in. So now the DOT can be real happy if they stop me and say, "Move forward, driver, next axle." So anyway, we're gonna get this frame painted. Look at this mask job I got done on this turbo dually. You know, this is the same kind of mask job I do at the body shop, and the cars just come out great. You just set a towel over it, man, you get a nice fine line and everything. It just works awesome. Well, here she is, all pressure washed and painted. I ended up painting the boxes, putting a coat over it, painted the frame. I tell you what, this old truck looks pretty nice when it's all looking nice. No more rust on the back. Man, she looks good. Sprayed some on the front there, on the fuel tank and everything. Nice yellow engine sparkling again. Just looks nice going down the road till you get up to it. Alright, so now it's time to start working on this truck and getting serious about cutting this frame. First thing I got to do is get the skid steer. This thing is sunk into the ground and I can't get the jack under the axle, so I got to push this thing forward about a foot just to get the wheels out of these ruts. And I don't feel like starting the thing right now, and it just doesn't really run that good because I'm working on the injection pump. But anyway, yeah, let's push this thing forward and get a jack under it. I got to get the front of this truck up 4 inches to get it level, not level, but level with the driveway. Believe it or not, with the level, it's actually, the frame itself is actually level right now, but I have to get it level with the driveway. That way when these axles roll back the 2 foot 7 inches, everything will hopefully be straight. There's probably not many people that do something like this without a nice concrete floor in a garage, but I'm not fortunate enough to have that at this time. So this is pretty level part of the driveway. You can't really see it on camera, but the only other option would be to do it way back there, but I can't get I don't have an extension cord long enough to get the 220 stick welder out there, and then I got to block the driveway. So here it is. And those of you that watched my video of putting a 3406 in this truck, I did that in the same exact spot. So it seems to be the chopping block for all the trucks I get. Years ago, when I first got the 62 Peterbilt, it was sitting between this tree and my garage for the longest time. I just threw this addition up quick a few years ago just to store some stuff, but before that gravel was there was a hell of a slope, and it was all mud and everything, and I worked on that truck for a long time there, so it definitely came a long ways. It's a lot better spot. There she is. You can see how much that thing was sunk down, so now hopefully I can get some jacks under that. So I have to put some 4-inch blocks under these front wheels, and I'll probably end up jacking the back up and putting some planks under it to give it a nice smooth thing to roll back on. Well, it's been a lot of work in a couple hours, but I'm pretty well ready to get this thing underway here. I jacked up the back, put these planks behind it, that way it'll be easier to push, because my plan is to try to move this without any machinery. I got these blocks made, so I'm gonna put just a little bit of weight under here, just enough to get something under there, that way it's held up. I got my lines measured out. I scored them with the grinder so I don't lose them. They're perfectly straight. At least I hope so. Same thing on the other side. Yeah, I see a lot of guys do different things. I see some guys cut it at 45. Some guys do like a weird zigzag thing. My plan is to cut this, butt weld everything, and then go on the inside of the frame rail and on the outside of the frame rail with a plate, a 1/4 inch plate. So this frame's going to be 3/4 inches thick. So I don't think you know, you can criticize my butt weld deal all you want, but that's going to be plenty strong enough for this thing. That's the exact same thing I did with that truck right here. While we're at it, we can check this out. Right there's where I cut the frame on this, and I got 2 plates on the inside. So this is 3/4 of an inch thick all the way from back where the motor mount is, all the way to the front. I don't know how much you could see over on that side, but you can see so this thing isn't going anywhere. It's overkill. But when you got 20 tons of shit on the back of this thing, plus the dump box, and you know, right in this area right here is where the hoist mechanism for the telescopic ram is going to go. So you know, when it's dumping, it's going to be pushing down on this, so I don't want that thing to go anywhere. Yeah, well, I got this side cut, and that side's awaiting to be cut. So far so good. Here we go. We officially turned 1 truck into 2 trucks. Doesn't look like we got much settling. So hopefully I can get this thing moved back and it'll go pretty smooth. All right, let's take her out apart.
She's dropping.
Yes, probably going to. All right, let's move these blocks in the back and see if we can get it to roll back just a hair. Oh, yeah, look at that. It's not even, it's actually balancing pretty good by itself. Huh. There you go. I think we're going to be in good shape then.
We can actually move it back just another couple inches and then move that underneath if you wanted to.
Move what underneath?
Support beam.
Straight sides? Maybe I got the easier side. Make sure we go straight back. We only got one shot at this. It's fine. Tell me to stop.
No.
Looks like we're already moving off kilter.
This one, I can move that down on the bottom and that'll help keep it straight.
Well, it's not going to help keep it this way. Because if you start to go faster than me on one side, it's going to cock it and we're never going to straighten it out. This thing here, it doesn't matter. Actually, you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to V these because I can get my grinder in there now. Now's the time to V these. And then... Alright, so now I'm going to grind these here and get these ready to weld. That way, when I get it where I want it, I don't have to waste any time because this thing's moving as we speak. And as soon as I get this to where I need it, I need to weld it. So I'm going to do the V here so I can get a good weld. Alright, I decided to weld on some rookie rods. So hopefully that'll keep this a little straighter, because instead of pushing this, I just put a pry bar in the yoke and now I'm just going to spin it that way. And I think that's going to be a little bit easier. I'm just going to find a place to put the camera. Ready?
Yeah.
Feels like it's going straight.
I say we should check measurement right now.
Okay. Measure once, cut twice. I have just over 12 and a half, or 11 and a half, 11 and 5/8.
I looked at this measure. This tape measure has the cheats on it.
It's like, wait, you're probably like an inch. All right, ready?
Uh-huh.
This is like working. All right, I gotta reposition here.
I'd say every like 4 or 5 inches we should double check.
Make sure my audience can see. My audience. All right, ready?
Yep.
Am I getting blocked?
You're good. I'm watching. Double check. Because I'm not pushing it back.
Well, I'll just go the other way. Well, we still got.
I know, but it's easier to keep track.
I got about 16 and a half.
5/8.
Close enough. Actually, I was probably that too. I just hollered out a random. Ready?
Hold on. Move these back a little bit more. Yeah. This one's hanging up.
I can hear it.
And I can see it. When you're doing that, this is.
I might not have caged it enough. Yep. All right, what were you?
19 and an 8.
19 and an 8. Holy crap, I got like 19 and a 16. Oh boy.
Good?
You're probably wondering why I keep licking that, huh?
Because you want to look to see if
It's because I got gloves on.
Use your nose.
It doesn't work.
No?
Mm-mm. Ready?
Yeah. There.
Yeah. There we go. Come on.
Right side's still hanging up a little.
How's it looking though?
I think it's hanging up just a little.
Straight. There we go. That looks better. Oh yeah, way better. Ain't gotta be
Hey,
perfect.
we can use your things now.
It's only a dump truck, but you can use what?
That can be switched underneath now.
You know what? This is going so good. Why mess with it? Just leave it. So we gotta go. 7 more inches. She's starting to look like a large car.
What do you got?
23 3/4.
Just
That. Yeah, man. Did that go?
It looks better.
Does it?
Go a little more. I think that thing would help you.
What thing?
The top thing, put it on the bottom.
Is that better? I look good on this. We're gonna get these tacked on to the front half of the truck and then close the gap back up and line everything up and then tack the back on. So as far as now, that's the plan. Hang on. Just get lined up. I'll tell you when this is set. See, it's bent different than the frame too, so that's kind of an issue, but alright, you know what? I think I'm gonna tack that. All right, we're gonna close the gap. Touching, huh? All right, kick your board in.
My board's moving. I don't think I moved.
Perfect. Let's jack this thing up. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Perfect. Look at that.
think it'd be better to wrap around that centerpiece there.
Tighten her up so much that they're forced together.
There we go.
This is going to tell us everything we need to know right here. Oh yeah. Alright, so what we got to do, we got to get a jack under here. Right. Put this in here. No, having the exact opposite problem on this side. There we go. Oh, look at that. This side's actually a little too much. Off there.
I don't think that really did anything.
Well, we're fighting the same problem we are on the other side with the whole thing, and I think it's just gonna be the way it is. Unfortunately, I don't think there's really anything we're gonna do about it. Somehow we gotta get this that way. You know what I'm saying? Here, push it in with me. Ready? Ready?
Yep.
Something must be So yeah, here it is the next morning, and she's all tacked up, and it's actually off the jacks. This jack here isn't even holding anything. So it was a little bit of a fight. I ended up turning the camera off because it ended up starting to get dark, and it became a race against time to try to get this done. You know, to try to get it tacked before it got dark, because I didn't want it sitting on the jacks all night because stuff's gonna settle, and you know, so. But anyway, so what I ended up having to do, I'm not sure how much you've seen, but I had to weld this on because this was way in right here. This thing was twisted and that was twisted out, and so I welded this big huge piece of angle iron on, and then I ran a chain over to my tractor here with a chain binder, a screw type chain binder, and I just tightened it up until it was straight, and then I welded that, and then that side's kind of tacked on. And then this side here was the exact opposite. The top was tucked in, so I ended up welding this piece of angle iron out and having somebody pull that this way for me to get that straight. The only little problem is the curve on this is a lot sharper than the curve on the frame. As you can see there, it's quite a bit different, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you know, what are you gonna do? I mean, I searched around at a lot of junkyards to try to find a section of this, and it must be this is its own bend or something, because I couldn't quite find anything that was right, and the junkyards didn't really have a whole lot of frame laying around. So this was really my only option at the time. But tell you what, stretch trucks are cool, man. So that piece in there is 2 foot 7 inches, 31 inches exactly. So that's how much longer we made her. I tell you what, it looks pretty darn cool like that. Long trucks are cool. I tell you what, I would make it even longer if I could, but for the dump box that's going on this, I need, so here's what I need, just so I need from that point right there to the back of that bracket, to the back of the frame, to right here, I need 13 foot 2 inches. And that's exactly what it is at this point. So I still got to figure out how I'm going to weld my hinge on here. I got a couple ideas, but that'll be a video or two down the road. But man, I don't know. I mean, it's really straight. Really straight. It came out really good considering. The first half of it went really easy, and then the second half was a fight to try to get this side. This side here broke my balls a lot. This side here was, the problem is we're doing it out in the driveway, and what ended up happening is the back half of the truck, after it got rolled back, was lower than the front, so trying to fight them two pieces together was not fun at all. So I ended up putting a chain binder in between here, and that thing's still got a lot of tension on it, but to draw those pieces together, that really helped. So, but she's pretty much standing on her own feet right now. I mean, there's not much pressure on any of these jacks, because I really had to jack up under this cross member and that to get these to line up. So I'm gonna finish welding. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish welding these solid on the inside and outside. I'm gonna grind the welds down so they're kind of flush, and then I'm gonna paint this and then call it a day, because my next step is to take these two pieces right here, and those two pieces are going to go on the inside right from that bracket all the way back. I'm going to take this one off, and they're hopefully going to go back to here. And then on the outside, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get two more pieces made, but these ones are going to be a little bit wider, and they're going to go all the way from there all the way back as far as I can get them. And these are all 1/4 inch. You can see the frame is 5/16, and the steel I got's 1/4, so it's a little thinner, but that's all I could get, so it is what it is. But by the time I triple this up, you know, there's not going to be anything to worry about. I'm going to bolt it and weld it like through here. Plus the cross member that holds the ram is going to go right in this area somewhere, so that'll help tie everything together once all that's mag drilled and bolted in and all that. So yeah, as of now I'm going to finish welding this and get her painted. So we got her all stick welded together. Looks great. I'm really happy with the way this thing came out. Got the insides welded up. So now it's time to take this thing off and take that out and see if she breaks in half. Well, there she is. She's officially standing on her own feet now. Man, this thing looks cool. So she held up. We still got a lot of bracing to do. So my plan now is I'm going to get all these welds ground flat. And then I'm going to get all this painted and then let it sit for a few days. And then put the rest of the plating on. That way I can try to prevent some corrosion in between the plates like you always see on double frame trucks. All right, here she is all painted. Man, this thing looks good. I wish it was done. I don't know, I wouldn't really want to find out if it's going to hold up to the dump box with just welded though and no plates going across it. But man, it looks awful good. Probably for a toy truck you'd be fine just to drive to shows and stuff. There's nothing cooler than a stretch truck. I'm so happy with the way it came out. Here's the other plates right here. So this painted side is going to butt up to that painted side on the inside of the frame rails. And after a few days after this paint dries, and we're going to get the mag drill and bolt everything together. And like I said, we're going to get another plate on the outside also that's going to go from here all the way back wherever, however long I can find. And then we're just gonna sandwich everything in and bolt it all together, and things shouldn't be going anywhere.